Alright guys, we are back. We are going to go over the new thing about macroeconomics, and this thing is called
businesses and labor.
Labor. Businesses and labor. The first business we're going to look at is going to be called a sole proprietorship. This is businesses owned by a single person or a married couple. You ready to get married?
Nope.
Good. Alright, 3/4 of all businesses are sole proprietorships. Advantages is our pride. You can own your own company. You take pride in it. You work in it. You own it. You do everything with it. Stop. You get money because profit's always a good thing. This is why we actually do work, because we like money. And you have monopoly. You don't have to worry about somebody else trying to make the decision for you unless you are married. And then you probably got to listen to the other half. Disadvantages. You're financially responsible for everything. Somebody falls, break their neck, you're responsible. Somebody does something bad, you're responsible. There's an unknown computer, evidently. You're responsible for other wages. You're responsible for taxes. You're responsible for every expense. You lose everything, it's your fault. But if you gain everything, you do get to keep the money. Partnership is businesses owned by
2 or more people.
2 or more people. 7% of all businesses are
partnership.
And there are some advantages. You can pull your money together. I can take some of his money. I can take some of my money. We can make it work out. More money, more partners. More money, more problems. Specialization of working talents. He can do certain things and I can do certain things. There are some disadvantages like everything else in the world. New legal agreement every time a partner is added or deleted. Every owner liable for debt and problems. Real good again. And sometimes you get a dishonest partner. Watch me. Corporations. These are businesses that have many owners. These are what you're looking at, these stock holding companies. 20% of all businesses are called corporations. They sell stock to investors, and these investors own what I like to call part of the pizza pie. They own actually part of the company. Now, I can own a piece of the company, he can own a piece of the company, and even you can own a piece of the company. We can all own part of McDonald's, but that doesn't mean we can go to McDonald's and get a discount. It just means that we own part of the company. Now, we're being investors in that company because we think they're going to do well. It pays dividends to shareholders. Now, this is where if the company does well, makes a lot of money, they're going to make more money than what they spent. As far as a business, you will get part of the profit because you own part of the company. But the good news is you have a limited liability. This means if I fall, break my neck at McDonald's, I sue McDonald's, you still don't owe me a penny, even if I end up owning all the McDonald's. It's in a corporation. Legal processes of forming a corporation. You got to go through a lot more legal stuff. It's easy to raise money because you can always split shares of stock. You can always sell more stock until you reach your limit. Sometimes you have a limit on the amount of stock that you can sell, but you don't have to worry about that. You just need to know that it's part of stocks for a company. Disadvantages is it's expensive. You don't have a lot of say because usually you're going to have a board. Even if he owned McDonald's, you own McDonald's stock, don't you?
I used to.
Oh, he didn't have a say in it. And there are a lot of government regulations. There are a lot of nonprofit organizations. These guys want to make things better. They're not to make a huge profit for the owners, but they want to make everything a little bit better or provide a service. The #1 nonprofit organization is what, Asher?
Churches.
It's churches. What's the #1?
Churches.
Churches are #1. Hospitals are #2. Salvation Army. Some of these other areas are in the event are there as well. The advantages are they benefit members and you do have satisfaction. This is why we like community service at Discovery. There is little government interaction because you guys are doing something well. You're improving the community, which is what the government usually likes. They're not going to get involved in too much. Disadvantages is no one to be held accountable to, and sometimes you can fall into dishonest hands again. I'm watching you, punk. I'm watching you.
I'm watching you.
Stop it. Labor unions. Woo, the goals are to help employees. They want to give you higher pay and nice working conditions. They go through it a couple different ways. This is usually when you got things that aren't going well, so they're going to try to fix it to where they are. And one of the ways is through collective bargaining. It gives strength, someone to bargain for better benefits. The methods of unions are collective bargainings, strikes, picketings, sit-downs, and lockouts. Court injunctions, these are where we force owners back to work. Now, in case you're curious, collective bargaining is where you guys sit down, you talk about it, try to figure things out. Strike is where you're just not going to go to work and you're going to boycott work. Picketing is where you hold your signs up. You guys have ever seen Duck Dynasty where Godwin wants, what does Godwin want?
His ham sandwich.
Wants his ham sandwich. And then you got to sit down where everybody will go into that business, sit down, and not let anybody else new come in. You also have what we call lockouts, in which you're basically the company locks out the person from coming into working. Even if that person wants to come in and get a good or a service, they're locked out and they can't do anything. The NLRB is called the
National Labor
Relations
Board.
The government is a mediator between unions and employees, and they try to work together to work things out so that they can avoid all the bad things. One of the bad aspects about labor unions is this week I can't make you join a labor union because you have to pay to be in a labor union. Now, sometimes you get benefits of it, yes. Sometimes you not. No, it sort of works. Depends on what you want to do with it.
Yep.
Negotiations. There are two main types. There's mediation and arbitration. Mediation, both of them have a third party. So you always have somebody else coming in. He's going to sit down with me and you, and he's going to figure out what's going on. Mediation, I don't have to listen to what he says. I can be like, no! And I can push him out of the way. Arbitration, I have to go, all right, what do you want? And I'll have to do it. That's the way it's going to work out. Union limitations. These are some of the things that happens with the union. Unions sometimes have closed shops. Only union members can work in that particular business. An open shop is where anyone can work, regardless of whether or not you're union or not. And feather bedding is where you keep too many workers, you don't pay overtime, insurance, vacations, etc., etc. There is yet another unknown computer on my household, but I hope that you guys can see somehow the beginnings of the macroeconomics lesson point that we're going through. I hope this has been a helpful thing. Asher, do you want to tell anybody anything?
Nope. I've been fine with this day.
All right. We hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video.
On my salt water.